So some of the things that we're doing in downtown redevelopment, and trust me, this is just a snapshot of a lot of the things that we've been working on throughout this portion of the presentation. But some of the things that we've been doing, Mr. Carson mentioned earlier, we took another look at how we're doing business. And one of the first things we noticed is that when people come into business, they were getting a lot of legal and documents, and it was just burdensome to a lot of people. Yeah, you need to do this code, you got to do this code, you got to do this. And I felt personally as a city manager, that was discouraging to me, and I'm not even opening a business. So what we've done, we've developed this business team concept, which is made up of myself, Bethany, who's our community development director, and Eva Rose, who's our code department. So basically what they do, their first contact is with Bethany and I. And we say, okay, what is your dream? What is your vision? We get that information, and then we go back and see, one, is it fulfilling code? Is it, is it in a proper area? So that's been really, really great working for us. One of the first businesses to go through, and we're really proud of this, is Ree's Restaurant. Rick Crawford, our business district authorities here, he was one of the first ones to come and tell us about that, and Ree's Restaurant was one of the first ones to go through that process. And what was nice about that, there was rules and things that we needed to emphasize or we had to enforce, but there were some things that we can get away, we can get by without doing that, without compromising who we are. And that's kind of what we've been using as our model moving forward. Some of the other things is grants, and we've got a $100,000 grant for our decorative lights, which are displayed here. Those were done many years ago. The original plan was to take those lights out and place them along the walking path, but I share with people, I didn't realize they weighed like 200 or 300 pounds, so that went up there. So we decided that we were going to paint those, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. We've got brand new globes that we're going to be putting on. And then also, as part of that, what we used to decorate our decorative lights, and it looks so gorgeous, like around Christmas time. But Duquesne Light, I got another blessing my first year as city manager. Duquesne Light called me up and said, hey, those hot wires you got running down off of there, you can't do that. Get them off our wires. So they're one of our Christmas lights. But what we're going to do now, we have a different strategy. We were able, out of that same grant, to get enough monies to pay for a GFI, which we're going to have attached to that decorative light. And then we're going to have rope lighting coming down there. And we're hoping to do that by Christmas. So we're real excited about that. So we got, that was over $100,000. We got another $50,000 that was used for demolition. We have 2 sites that we're going to be tearing down, commercial properties. We got another additional $100,000 that we used towards, we're going to be getting Mount Washington streets paved up there. So we're real excited about that. We're designated ALERTA, which is a local economic revitalization tax abatement area. We've just expanded that area to our core business district. We only had like 1 or 2 blocks, but now we've expanded that for like 4 or 5 blocks now. So that's going to encourage people to come in and buy buildings, and it's been successful for us because we have more and more people coming in and want to buy these old buildings and fix them up. We're a federal hub zone, which I'll talk briefly about a developer we've been working with the last couple years, and possibly bringing a office building here along with jobs, so that's real exciting. We're a Keystone Innovation Zone, and we're also just been designated by the governor as an opportunity zone, which actually brought the director of HUD, Dr. Ben Carson, to town, and he was in town with us for about 2 or 3 hours. Yes, sir. So part of our downtown plan is, some of you may have participated in it, and we had a couple of the sessions even here in the library, and we invited the public to come in and give their input on what do you want Beaver Falls to look like. So that's the unique thing about it. We're not just as government saying, here's what we think government is, and you guys just deal with it. We have had numerous, even with the PennDOT project, we've invited the public in and say, hey, tell us what you want. What do you want to see? So that has been very successful for us, and actually we just got approved for a grant because of the work we're doing on that. We just got approved for another grant through the Department of Economic Development for $70,000 to review our internals, and then also to help us move forward in applying for further grants. Bethany was doing a work with University of Pittsburgh. She did some studies there, and then she also was able to secure funding to have this plan for a healthier walk area. And basically, if you see that, that's going to be very critical to us in having our relationship with Geneva College. And Dr. Traub's going to talk about some of the work when I believe he's next week or the week after. He's going to talk about some of the work that's going to be pretty much bridging that gap between the downtown and Geneva College. So that was the area that we affectionately call the highlighted yellow area. That's the area we affectionately call the flagpole. And that's the area we're working with some developers that we've actually just sold them the property. A lot of people might say, well, what's the delay? Well, to be honest with you, it took us like 2.5 years to clear 2 pieces of property, and we just cleared them about a month ago. So I've learned a big lesson on how to clear quiet title. So yes, and so other part of that, as you can see, this is a Beaver County partnership. We're engaged with them. I believe we had a meeting with them today. That is a countywide initiative, and they have several councils that are involved in working with us. But we've been working with them for about 2.5 years. That other area that's dotted in yellow, that's an area that's been designated by the CDC as the Neighborhoods of Hope, but we've chose that area because of its proximity to this development, and what we're going to hope to do is we're going to be applying for some state funding and grants to be able to purchase some properties, tear them down, or revitalize those areas. So back in October, prior to that, actually, Dr. Traub had approached Bethany and I and said, hey, you guys want to take a field trip? And I'm always up for a field trip. I said, yeah, we'll go on a field trip. I thought he was just talking, and then next thing I know, he's had us all packed up, ready to go. So we went to a place called Albion, Michigan, and it was just amazing how closely related that town was to the same challenges that we face, a post-industrial town that fell on its hard time but was rebounding. We went out there and we learned so many great things up there, and just can't say enough that it was a great partnership for us to go out there and be a part of Geneva and bring that same, some of them lessons back here and use them for our good. So the Innovation Hub, the old building that sits about half the block up here, just real briefly, how am I on time? No one's keeping time. I can go as one I want. My wife says, no, you're done. So briefly, I just want to talk about the Innovation Hub, and that was a real big win for us. We worked with Mr. Jack Manning, who's head of the chamber. We worked with them in the last year or so. It's a regional project, and we were able to go out in the last month or so. It's going to be an Innovation Hub, which is going to be like, it's sponsored through Penn State, and the other 4 colleges are involved with it as well, as far as Geneva, CCBC, and Robert Morris. Yes, so in the chamber, yes. Yeah, so we're real excited about that, so we'll have more information as we move along.
10 minutes.
I'm getting mixed signals. My wife says, no, I'm done. You get 10 minutes. I'll take 5. How about that? Go ahead. So in conclusion, I would just like to say we affectionately been calling ourselves unofficially the city of second chances. And I think that's critical because, a lot of people have given up on us. There's a lot of people even in our town that's given up on us, but we have not given up on ourselves, and we ask that you don't give up. Tyrone, I believe I see Tyrone. Can you just wave yourself? What an awesome young man. Could you guys give him... Yeah, if you don't know Tyrone's story, he regrets some of the mistakes that he made, but he says, you know what, I'm committed to giving back to the city that I hurt so much. And for the last 2 or 3 years, when he first approached me about the wave pool, I told him straight up, I said, it ain't going to be an overnight thing, my man. We're going to go for the long haul. And he's been in the long haul, and he has the same passion and drive. So I thank you for you coming back home and making this work. We're going to work with you, my man. So we thank you. And then I seen Christine. Is Christine here? Would you stand up? Say hi to Christine. Just in closing, she's another story that's a really, and there's so many great stories, but these are the 2 that stuck out for me. And I just want to thank you for having that vision and saying, hey, let's create a children's museum, because no one had ever thought of that, and we're committed and we stand by you as well. So we thank you, we thank all of you, and we encourage you, like I said, that we can't do it alone as government, but we need you to help us. Thank you.